So I was watching Internals again, and some it was a bug that just stuck with me. So in the comics, the Eternals are essentially humans. There's a lot of debate between where exactly you draw the lines between an Eternal, a mutant, and a Inhuman, because for the most part they essentially operate in that same nebulous space. But Eternals are essentially humans that were imbued with uh long life and abilities by the Celestials. There were the Eternals, and then there were the Deviants. The Eternals couldn't procreate, the Deviants could, and as the Deviants procreate, they created other Deviants with wild mutations. Whereas the Eternals were essentially set and the basis for what we as humans contemplated as gods. But keep that in mind. Eternals are essentially humans. Now, when you go to the Eternals in the MCU, the Eternals in the MCU are constructs. They are essentially synthezoids, more advanced synthezoids than Vision, like the pinnacle of synthezoid creation, where they are artificial beings that are essentially their minds and their consciousnesses are essentially uploaded and then downloaded and erased after they complete a mission. I think the order should be they are downloaded, sent on a mission. When they return from the mission, their memories are uploaded to that source wall thing, and then their memories are deleted and they start over from scratch and they're sent on another mission. But remember, they are artificial constructs designed by the Celestials in the MCU. Now, in regards to Makarri, her disability in the comics makes sense. Essentially, she moves so fast that she creates sonic booms every single time she goes. Because of those sonic booms, it's essentially ruptured her eardrums to the point where she has a permanent disability where she cannot hear. Sometimes it's referred to as a disability, other times it's looked at more as like a quirk to go along with her super speed. But for the most part, it's looked at as a disability. The disability comes from the fact that she's a speedster who's not protected by any magical force like a speed force, and as a direct result, she is deaf, so that she doesn't have to hear the sonic booms when she takes off. That makes sense. Why? Because in the comic books, Makarri is a human. She is flesh and blood. Even though she is long-lived and she has abilities, the basis for Makarri is that she is a human. Here's the problem. In the MCU, she's a construct. She's essentially a synthezoid. She's a robot. It doesn't make sense that she would suffer the exact same way that the human version of Makarri would. Because as a construct, yes, they are designed to operate essentially like humans. They can bleed, they can consume food, they can, what are some of the other things that humans do? They can die. I don't know why I suddenly ran out of like the things that humans can do. Their bodies are they're essentially T-800s. If I'm going to use a Terminator reference and put it in here, where it's flesh and blood over a celestial endoskeleton. But at the exact same time, because of the way in which they're designed, it doesn't make sense that she would suffer from that same sonic boom issue where essentially she is deaf. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because she's an artificial being. She would be essentially more durable than Vision, which would be that Vision can operate at speeds that cause sonic booms, and he doesn't essentially go deaf from that issue. However, the celestial construct Makarri does. Why? It's the exact same problem that, like, I'm sitting down and I'm also looking at the other characters that are on the Eternals, specifically Sprite, because of the fact that her design is that of a child. It's like, well, why? If Sprite's able to create perfect illusions that create sound and you can't discern from reality, then wouldn't it make more sense to make Sprite an adult? And then if she won, she can basically cast an illusion over herself that makes her look like a child? Then for Makarri, if Makarri is a speedster and she's artificial, shouldn't she be designed where she doesn't have the disability because her body is designed in a certain type of way that it prevents her from having to suffer from sonic booms? See where I'm going with this? Like, the human versions, it would make sense that their characters would suffer from this. The celestial construct versions, it absolutely doesn't. It seems as though Arishem essentially created flawed synthezoids and then sent them out into the universe to take care of ending the garden. And it's like, well, why won't you make them perfect? Why don't you make it so that when Makarri runs, she doesn't have to suffer from sonic booms? They are just something that happens that doesn't even irritate her. It doesn't bug her in any way, shape, or form. It's like, yeah, I'm a speedster. I'm used to the sonic booms. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Plus, she also has an accelerated healing factor. Why wouldn't her healing factor heal any type of damage that would be caused when she takes off and she sonic booms? I've been thinking about this all day, and I was like, you know what, this would make a really, really good video, because I'm like, does anybody else see the problem with this? Does anybody else see the problem with not making the Eternals just really advanced humans? I would be fine if Arishem had essentially shown up on Earth, took a bunch of random people, turned them into the first set of Eternals, and then was like, look, you gotta fight these deviants because like they're messing up the entire balance of the entire planet. I leave it to you guys. And then just peaced out. Instead of creating the whole celestial construct Eternals thing, because now that you've made the machines, any type of disability and flaw that they have, the question could be like, well, why? Why did you design them to be this way? It doesn't make any sense. You'd want the perfect machines that wouldn't malfunction in any way, shape, or form. What's going on here? But that's just me. If you agree with me that it doesn't make sense that Makarri essentially has a disability in the MCU, comment down below, because it's annoying me, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's not gonna get any better, because every single time I rewatch Eternals, I'm just gonna be like, you're dope as shit. I fucking love you. You kick so much ass. But why? Should have just made you a human. An advanced human who had a disability initially, and essentially when they got super speed, the disability became a boon because they didn't have to deal with listening to sonic booms every single time they took off. But that's just me. That's the end of the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.